Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Monday night, 10/24, October the 24th. And today was a good way to start the week with the indices running again. The oscillators are now overbought, and we are long in the tooth, but momentum is a strong thing. And at the beginning of every intermediate move, this is the way they act. So with all the patterns I'm seeing, with all the what looks like important lows being put in place, we could see a lot more run into the year end perhaps. But I do expect at some point a pullback of several days, so we'll see what happens. Let's start off with some of the better looking ones. I was going to go over the shorts, but there's no reason to yet. So let's continue to monitor some of the longs that are breaking out. MOBI, SkyMobi, which was a hot stock last year when it ran from about 5 or change up to the mid 20s, rolled over in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave decline, bottomed, turned around, and then I think today was the key day for the stock in quite a while because it came through this line, lateral price resistance, broke through the declining tops line and the 50-day. And although it did back off the high by 50 cents, it still closed up $1.40 or 36%. Big day. And on volume that we haven't seen since back in June and July. So very important day that could lead to more upside, and I have a short-term target around 7. MEG, Media General, although I hate companies in this industry, newspapers and publishing, I just think that this was perhaps a turnaround. The stock has dropped already from 8 down to 1, spiked up to 229 today, was up 35.5% on 750,000 shares. That's the biggest volume we've seen in quite a while, and perhaps it's on its way up to test my next target up around 3. Big day for EXEL. I'll clear this up for you. You can see that the stock spiked up and had a big day, jumping from up 24% or $1.45 on 5.9 million shares. That's very big volume for that stock and the biggest volume in 6 months. So there is resistance up around the 7 3/4, 8 zone. That's my short-term target. We may reach that as early as tomorrow. Secondary target up around 9. The third target up around 10 1/4. Those are levels of resistance to keep an eye on. Silver Corp stocks were very strong. I wanted to show you SVM because this major declining tops line was taken out, as well as this neckline on this potentially could be a left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, kind of head and shoulders bottom. The highest level in about 2.5 months, and at this point, my target will be up around this level, 12. My short-term target at these lows and across this high up in that zone there. That's your natural target zone. FIO, FIOS was up 386 or 15% almost on 1.5 million, and it's been moving very strongly lately. After taking out the declining tops line and lateral price resistance, the stock has now moved into a resistance zone. So note the high today at 32.839. It closed at 30.32, 2 points off that high. So well off that resistance zone, and we may see some backing and filling in here. Should it get through today's high though, 32.5 or so, I would look for a move up to 36.5 short term. PLX had a big day today. It snapped back 13.7% or 74 cents and jumped to a resistance level and closed just slightly above it. The next target logically would be up around these highs in the 7 1/4, 7.5 zone. CBG, real estate firm, broke out a little mini base, broke through the lateral price resistance, 52-day moving average, etc. There's some minor resistance up around 17.5, which could be tested tomorrow. An immediate target, however, at 20. Swing trade ANR had a good day today, up 206 or 9.5%, 10.8 million shares traded. Broke out of this wedge pattern and right up to the declining tops line before it backed off. But still, only 20 cents off the high. And with a good close like that, I would expect to see it follow through up towards my swing trade target around 26. 25.5, 26 zone. KOG, wanted to point this out to you only because we've been talking about it. It's one of my favorite junior oils. Bakken region oil, likely a takeover as well, but what a snapback. From 3.5, it's gone to nearly 7, nearly doubling in 3 weeks. But we're up against a key resistance zone up here. I would expect to see some sort of pullback retest, and that would be the point to maybe consider entering. But don't chase it. Up next is SIMG, which is broken today out. It appears out of a key neckline resistance on a head and shoulders bottoming pattern. And the surge today was 8% on 1.1 million shares. If it follows through here, I would look for a move up towards the 8 3/4, 9 zone. TSPT came out of a flag pattern today. As you can see, it popped earlier in the month, and over the last couple of weeks, it's been coming down an orderly flag. reversed 2 days ago, and today broke up through this lateral price resistance, jumping 55 cents or 7.25%, as volume picked up to 493,000. If we continue here, I would expect to see a retest of the high around 9, perhaps even a move up towards the top of the line as I've drawn it in around the 10.5, 11 somewhere. Short-term target. PANL doing very well today, up 330 or 6.8%. Volume increased slightly, not tremendously so, but it looks like it may have gotten across this lateral price resistance. It's certainly gotten across the declining tops line. We may be headed for a retest of the double top around 60. I target 59.60 short term. Swing trade Juniper had a very nice day, up $1.37 or 6.5%. 10.9 million traded today, and it closed above this line. That's key for me. I'm expecting a move to test this declining tops line and maybe that lateral price resistance in the 24 to 25.5 zone coming up next, perhaps. OPNT swing trade had a nice follow through day, up 229 or 5.4%. Almost 700,000 shares traded today. Stock has spiked up and through lateral price. First of all, this price resistance line and up through the top of the channel. So I'm expecting it to run towards the high 40s. CYT with two big, huge back-to-back days in a row. I wanted to show you this here because it's spectacular. Big volume, explosive day on Friday, another nice follow through today. I'm expecting a short-term test of about 47, 48 zone before we run into any major problems, perhaps. SIMO, this swing trade target of mine continues to edge higher, hitting 17 today. That's up from 1035 just 2.5, 3 weeks ago. It's acting well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see 18, 18.5 short term. Yahoo just keeps going higher. This takeover target appears to be edging higher in a beautiful rising channel. Short-term resistance around 17.5, maybe a target around 18.5, 3/4 may be had. We'll see if it's taken over and at what price. NUAN. Well, I wanted to show you the strength in this stock since it's run from 16.5 to 26.25 just in the last 6 weeks, but at this point, we may be up against a level at which the stock is overbought short term and needs to come back and consolidate. Still, the longer term target is near 30. Intermediate target, excuse me. AKRX had a nice follow through day, up 30 cents or 3.5%. But significant of today's action is this declining tops line here, and the wedge may have been taken out. And if so, a retest of 940 may be had shortly, and then up to 10.5 my target. PCYC. Stuck its head out above that line today and closed above it, up 39 cents at 3%. But if it continues here, we may see a thrust up towards 16, a short-term target. Sally Beauty Holdings, SBH. Looking for a break through that line. We got that Friday, and today a nice follow-through day. Looking for more upside. I would say that I wouldn't be shocked to see the stock move up near this line. Let's redraw this. Around 21, 20.5, 21 short-term. Maybe even get to the top of the longer-term channel up near the 24.5 zone. Hey, Dunkin' Donuts had a little bit of a pop today, jumps 81 cents or 3%, but I'm looking for more out of this for a retest of this high around 29.5, 30. We get through that, a test of the post-IPO high up around 32, short-term target. Halozyme, HALO, continues to impress. What a move since his gap and a little minor pullback. 3 days in a row, moving from about 720 up to the 860 range, and there is resistance and target up around 9, but let's see what happens if it gets up there. SanDisk up $1.18 or 2.37%, but continues to follow through on this beautiful left shoulder head, right shoulder head and shoulders type pattern. Break of the neckline, a retest of lateral price resistance at the April high is underway. Perhaps we see it get to 53 short term at key longer term resistance, but through that, we're looking at a $60 stock. That wouldn't surprise me either. SUSS continues to act well. This falling wedge was broken, pullback retest, and now 3 days in a row up, or actually 4 days in a row. Expecting a retest at a high of 24, a takeout, and eventually move up towards 27. And lastly, today, Stamps.com, with a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move, is now consolidating. It looks like if it holds this platform at 23.5, we can see a spike up towards 30, 31 at least. And that could be a very interesting swing trade. And that's it for this evening. Man, this market's strong, but overbought. Take it easy.